Welcome everyone to another live Q&A with Life at the Turn. I'm really excited because we have a brand that I just saw kind of pop through my Instagram not too long ago, and I reached out to Bob from Moment Zero Golf or Moment Zero Putters. Is that
Moment
how
Zero
we?
Golf. Nope, you
Moment
got it.
Zero Golf, yeah.
Yep.
And reached out, and you were kind enough to donate some of your time to come and chat with us and chat with our community and answer some questions about this very cool putter that you've come up with that's gotten some recognition from some various tests across the web. So without that, without I'm going to pass the floor to you, get you to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, what you do, and then we'll get into the brand.
Yeah. First off, Jamie, thank you very much for having us. We're very excited to get our product that we've been working on over the past 4 years into the market. We launched it in September of last year, and being in the off season, we utilized that time to really get traction as well as fine tune some of the things of market rollout. And we've hit the ground running so far. Just a little introduction of myself. So Bob DiPlacido, I'm the founder and CEO of Moment Zero Golf. I started it, like I said, about 4 years ago, out of truthfully, a distraction. So I've been golfing my entire life. I had lost my mom about 4 years ago and just utilized it as a distraction to kind of just start twiddling my thumbs, using my mechanical engineering background and design something into a game that I absolutely love. And it started gaining some local traction. And we just fine-tuned it and fine-tuned it. And finally got it into some hands of some impactful people last year. And it performed really, really well. Being a single employee company, we do have a partner that we have a component of the putter integrated into it. So they definitely help on the sales side, but from a development and rollout and everything, going from my garage, Jamie, as you said, you're in yours, and developing something, and we went up against I think 80 other putters in the My Golf Spy test, and we finished in top 10 across the
Fantastic.
board. So very, very excited there. And one of the more exciting things, and I know some of the questions we'll dive into, but the technology that we've integrated into the putter has really shown value in that testing, as we ranked very, very high with the most consistency across all the variable putts.
Hmm.
And so that's something we're really proud of and continue to grow on and continue to fine tune and everything. So yeah, so that's me. That's the company. It's been a blast, and we're very excited to see what's coming next.
That's awesome. As you said, we put this out on our Life at the Turn community and got a few questions. So we're going to get into those first, and then whatever we don't cover, I have a few of my own. So we'll see
Sure.
what we get into. And Chris may have gone. He was very excited, if you couldn't tell, because he had,
Yeah, absolutely.
which is great. So the first question he has: how would you, Moment Zero, describe the feel of the moment putter off the face? What's a good comparison?
Yeah, so that I mean, and I'll address Chris directly. I mean, that's an excellent question. We get that question a lot, and with our kinetic core technology, which is another question that he has down the line,
Yep.
it's a very unique feel in a very satisfying way. And so I'll answer this one in a little bit detailed. So we talk about the putter and the design of it. And so you have the head, you have the shaft, you have the grip. And we designed it from ground up, where we worked with the developer, the manufacturers, to develop the shaft. We manufactured and developed our own grip. So we built an entire system.
Mm.
And you can feel the ball going all the way up to your hands, which kind of makes it different than what's out there today. If I were to say, in all of our comparative testing, as you actually strike the ball, what does it feel like. It's semi-similar to that of like the TaylorMade Spider center shafted.
Okay.
This one here.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's differences too. I mean, there's a slight ping to it that people find very, very satisfying from a noise standpoint. There is some additional features that we integrated into it that just the gliding across the surface is a lot more smooth than the putter. So you think about a standard putter today, and they all have the blunt face, right, with the small radius at the bottom. And I have one in my hand, and you can see it. We added a chamfer to the bottom. And so it skids across the surface a lot more smoothly than your traditional putter, or even if you're friendly with putting off the fringe. If you're going against the grain, that can cause a pretty serious problem. And so we designed that out. We designed that problem out. And so there's a lot of factors that come into play with that, Jamie and Chris. But ultimately, it's a firm feel across the entire face, and that was one area that we really, really focused on, is to mitigate that dead feeling that a lot of putters have in the industry.
Makes sense. What and what are the materials that the Moment's made out of?
Yeah, so that's an excellent question. So it's a two-part design. So the black portion is 6061 aluminum, and then the silver portion is 303 stainless steel. And then it is a type 3 hard coat anodized on the black, so very durable. And then all of the markings that we do for alignment aid, and we just relaunched all of our alignment aid actually this morning. Those are all fiber laser etched on, so they're permanent. You don't have to worry about them fading. You don't have to worry about the ink infill falling out or anything. They're etched right in house here. And so we obviously have our standard options, but we've done some custom stuff for people too.
And so the stainless steel, that must be pulling a lot of the MOA down to where you want it to be. And then that must also help with the forgiveness factor, because this is a fairly, what is the MOI number on it, or do you have that?
I have it. I don't recall it off the top of my head, to be honest with you. But I do have that, and that's something, Jamie, I can certainly provide to you after this, because we did get that tested. And then we also have the heel and the toe tungsten or stainless steel threaded inserts that we put in for extra weight, depending on the weight distribution people are looking for. But traditionally, the head weight is right around 365, 366 grams.
That's pretty, okay, so if we go into my questions, we'll be here all day. So let's get through Chris's first. Second question: with some ZT putters going away from center shaft design, like the HS series from Lab, why do you think center shaft is the best design for zero torque?
So that's another excellent question, and I don't think that center shafting and zero torque should go hand in hand necessarily. Yes, we have Lab that's trying to get you into something you're more familiar with, but you go and you look at their data, their heel shafted did not perform as well as center shafted. And that's a mix between feel and, truthfully, one of the big things, and you look at what a lot of these companies are doing, alignment is a huge piece of the game. If you're not starting the ball off where you should be going or where you need it to go, you're missing 100% of the time. And so that's part of the reason we relaunched our alignment aids. We spent a lot of time researching the psychological and the visual aspects of lining up the ball. And one of those big ones is having lines that are thicker, and then ones that transverse all the way to the back of the putter, so that you're kind of shaping around the ball, and you're visually seeing that path. So I don't think there's a direct correlation between zero torque and center shafted. Like I said, I really, really like center shafted, because as you think about starting the line of the ball off where you want it to, you are eliminating so many factors with the shaft in the center, and you're just naturally lining up to the center of the putter face versus having all of that variation that comes with the traditional heel shafted. And now that's personal preference. But I will say, if you're adding a heel shaft to a zero torque, that physics gets a lot more complicated.
Yeah, I don't want to pretend to even try and get into the engineering of that. That's not a feat for me. Wonderful answer. The final question from Chris, although he might have another one, who knows?
I think he's
noticed
got one
that,
down toward the bottom a bit.
yeah, probably. I noticed that Moment doesn't offer different lie angles. Can you describe how they make how you make your ZT putters without addressing the lie angle?
Yeah, so that's another excellent question. So our traditional lie angle is 70 degrees. Do we have the ability to adjust that? Yeah. 70 is kind of the most common that we have found. We have made some all the way to 76, and we've dropped some down to like 67, 68. And the biggest thing we do there is we make adjustments to the weight in order to maintain that zero torque.
Makes sense. So you mentioned that you have a few different, or you built the putter from the ground up. I am a big believer in putter shafts and the technology that they can offer people. Can you explain and tell me a little bit about the different components that you added in to the Moment?
Yeah. So, I mean, the head is the brains behind it, really. So you look at this, and you look at a lot of putters today, and they look very simple from outside in. Now, we added a lot of detail, just because addressing a ball and having confidence in the putter as you look down on it is very important. And so a lot of these, or actually all of these geometries, have a benefit in the psychological side, but they're softened by the radii, they're softened by the black finish. But as you take kind of an inner look into this, there's a lot of cavities inside here, both negative cavities and positive cavities, to kind of develop that kinetic core. And so one of the biggest things that we have done with the head is we're focusing the energy towards the center of gravity, as well as towards the center of the face. And so, like, these edges and that are pointing towards this tip here, that happens also in a series of geometries on the underside, in the form of pockets as well. And so that has enabled us to get that feel. We have some slow motion videos of the ball physically compressing with the putter, which is allowing it to roll faster, sooner, and maintain the line more consistently. And that happens really across the entire face. So we've done a lot of testing, and we're going to be publishing a lot of the speed data coming up. But regardless if you're hitting it off of the heel, the toe, or the center, there's not a lot of energy loss across that face because of how we designed it. And also, more importantly, the feel is consistent across the entire face. So you're not getting that deadening feel. As you're going up towards the shaft itself, we wanted to be able to physically feel the ball at contact. And so we developed a fiberglass shaft. It's about 130 grams, which is pretty on par where everybody's at. You get a range between 115 and 135 typically. And so it's an extra stiff shaft. But we have pockets of it that have more material and less material, to allow for that feel to travel up the club without it adding an additional quote unquote spring force that would feel too flexible on the putter. And then probably one of the most um, undervalued, most talked about components is the grip itself. And so we did a pistol style, but it's a flat face.
Really cool.
So it's multi-textured, where you have kind of this grooving here. Because of the webbing, it gives you almost sitting perfectly in your the creases of your fingers for
Yep.
alignment. And then our logo up top actually gives you a visual alignment. And it also kind of follows suit with, if you're a traditional gripper, your thumb falls here. If you're a claw gripper, your thumb falls here. So it's kind of got
Okay.
a couple different values to it that when a lot of people grab this in a mix between the ribbing off the back that the sewing gives you, the pistol style off, the variable textures, kind of where your hands fall. We get a lot of questions of what is this grip? And we're very proud to say this is something that we took literally 3 years to develop and in a lot of different hands to fine tune the ultimate feel for it.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
The logo.
Yeah.
Switching gears, like where did the logo come from? It stands out. It's very, I love how simple it is. So would
Yeah.
love to hear the story behind it.
So the logo is it's a vertical line with 3 dots. And so moment zero, being that I started this as a distraction from my mom passing suddenly, moment zero is your reset point. So as you hit a golf ball and you shank it or you miss your putt or whatever, it's very easy to allow that to carry through the balance of your round. And so the moment zero is that reset point of, look, what's behind you is behind you, learn from it and push forward. And so that is what the logo is. So this is the 3-second breath of your stress, and then your stress is gone and you're starting at zero.
Hmm.
And so yeah, it's very simple, but there's a lot of thought behind it.
That's fantastic. The going back, sorry, I'm skipping
Oh, you're
my mind,
fine.
skipping around a little bit, but fiberglass, I mean, that's a fairly unique material to use. I know it's used, I mean, I've seen it used in hockey sticks and all sorts of other sporting equipment, but I'm trying to remember the last golf shaft, and I don't quite remember the last golf shaft that may have been used in with car or fiberglass. How much testing did you do with different materials, whether that be carbon fiber or steel, that led you down that path?
Yeah, we did a lot of testing, and it was a mix between the feel to traverse up the club, with the feel off the face that we were looking for, the weight distribution we were looking for, and after a series of testing with different thickness shafts, traditionally you have your 0.37, 0.39 head, like we did both of those. We went with some of the stabilizer shafts that are out there today. We tested against those, and yeah, we landed on it's actually it's a fiberglass graphite hybrid mix.
Okay.
And so it's not completely new. It's not completely new technology. But what we did with it and how we manipulated kind of the weight locations, et cetera, kind of gives you that upper hand.
And there must have been, I guess, a small cost benefit there versus going straight carbon fiber, or was that
You know,
about
it really
negligible?
is a wash. It really, really
Okay.
is. I mean, as you think of anything, volume equals opportunity, right? And so the more you buy, the better costing you get. And a lot of the manufacturers out there pride themselves on that and leverage that with their consumers. And so as you look apple to apple, you might be a couple cents cheaper than your traditional carbon fiber.
Okay. Uh, First thing that I look for, I'm a lefty. I don't know if you can see that. That's a
Mm-hmm.
left-handed club in the back. It's something I never expect from newer companies to come out with a left-handed piece of
Oh, we
equipment.
have
I and I was thrilled to see that you guys do. Um, but it must be a little bit easier because it's that one stainless steel
Mhm.
piece. So it must have
Yeah,
been a
so
slightly easier process too.
it basically takes this and flips it 180. It just mirrors it. So
Yeah.
everything else stays the same. The center of gravity stays in the same location. And then we just invert the weights off the heel and toe, and you're able to maintain pretty much the same consistency.
Sweet. The face, I this is kind of going to be two parts. One, I found with aluminum putters in the past that I've used, there was always that one spot on them that felt springy, or at least more springy compared to the rest.
Sure.
Never mind, it's a nice soft feel from aluminum. It's typically a good sound as well. A, how did you battle maybe that what I personally found, but also is there any groove technology in the face or any other technology that you've implemented?
Yeah, so that's really where the kinetic core comes into play. And so with the mix between an air pocket behind the face, as well as those other geometries, you do get a springy feel to an extent, but it's uniform. So you're not getting that one super hot spot that you're like, oh shit, I just blew it 300 feet past the hole
Yeah.
because I hit that one micro spot on the face. Um, I will say it does come off a little hotter than maybe the labs. But I
Okay.
will also say I have acquired every single putter that is available in zero torque. And I tested them all. And even outside of zero torque. And the one thing we've been working with some local pros here at clubs, we've gotten it in hands of people that are mixed from their skill level. And the number one response that we get is I've never felt anything that I've putted so confidently with. Um, and so, yes, it might take a second for the guys that are used to an older style putter that doesn't have the technology into it. Or you're at the superior level where you can tell the difference between 1 and 2 grams, which is a very few and far between. But we have really, really focused and delivered a solution that gives you that uniform softness, but solid feel across the entire face. And that's delivered predominantly by that kinetic core technology behind it.
Very cool. And I'm on your website now, just kind of looking through the build, and I love the visuals that you have when you're going through the different alignment aids. You said that eh, just today,
Yeah,
June 16th, you re-released the different alignment
we
age
did.
options.
We did.
Perfect timing for this then.
There's you will learn as we continue to talk and we continue to engage. There's no detail goes unturned at moment zero. I mean, being a single person, if you order today, we typically get it out same day. We get it out tomorrow, and I'm the one that is hand etching every single one of these heads, and making sure that they're going out as if I'm putting it in my own bag. And we have the ability to mass produce. I mean, we did some time and motion studies, and we can crank out 150 putters a day if we need to.
Wow.
And it's all through planning. It's all through just the steps and the measurements that we've put in place to fine tune it. But yeah, we can do that. Now it's a little more complicated, being that this is a side gig. But once we continue to push into the market, yeah, we can definitely support that.
And where getting into like the business side of things a little bit more, $350,
Mm-hmm.
349, yeah, 349.99. That,
Yep.
I mean, that's, I'm not going to say that's cheap for putters, but we definitely see putters now live in that 550 range for a
Yeah,
lot. So all things considered, I'd say it's at the mid price point for
yeah.
putters, especially with something that's this material. Where did you land on that? Because it seems like if you really wanted to, you might have been able to push that envelope a little bit more.
Yeah, and that's an excellent question, Jamie, and that's something that I honestly didn't fight with. I wanted something that was very well engineered and something that was very quality that most golfers can get. I mean, I go to the store and truthfully, this is why part of the reason why I started this thing in the beginning is I went to the local Dick's and I was like, no way in hell am I spending $500 on a putter, no chance. And I didn't love any of them.
Hmm.
There's a lot that feel okay but look goofy, or look great and don't feel good. And so I just went to the drawing board and I said, okay, I have the education to be able to build this. And I have the resources to be able to make something, and I did it. And I know that that's a wild thought process for a lot of people, but it's honestly, and I'm biased because it's mine, but I hear this from everybody. At the price point we are at, um, it is the arguably the best putter out there. Um, just from just the customization, from the personable standpoint. I mean, I was working with the guy yesterday, and I actually have the ability to. These are cool. I can custom etch the
I
bottoms
saw
of the
some things
putters
on
for
this. I
everybody.
saw that. That looks
So
incredible.
for $45, you can add within reason. Obviously, you have to be cognizant of trademark and copywriting and everything, but I can go and customize your putter. If you want your name on it, if you want a deviation of your favorite sports team, your phrase, or family coat, like we can do all of that. And he wanted a variation of the alignment aid that we didn't have. And you
Hmm.
get with some of these bigger companies and like, yeah, we can do that, but it's extra $200. Okay, what do you want? I will work with you, and I will do it for free, um, because that is something that has always been instilled in me is serviceability. And this is a community that I absolutely love. I love golf. I've been playing since I was 2 years old, and I want to deliver something that is quality that people don't have to break the bank for.
That's awesome. You said that you're customizing that. If we look at, I mean, we see it a lot more, and I'm sure you have these questions. Different colors. Are you
Mhm.
going to offer different colors? And the other one is actually, let's go with different colors because I have
Yeah.
a good follow-up
So
question after.
yeah, so different colors from a technical standpoint is easy. It's a different anodizing that people are using. And you look at Lab started it. Spider just relaunched their whole new brand, and they can customize the inserts, the weights, the bottoms. It's nice. Being a small brand right now, it adds so much complexity and variability that it doesn't make sense for us right now. We don't have the capital to run all of these different tests, to make all of these different prototypes that these larger brands have. And the fact that we don't have any of that, we don't have any of the relationships with the tour guys, and we finished top 10 out of 80 putters. I'm not going to add additional complexity for flair because some person might like it and jeopardize the intent of this product, which is durability and performance.
That makes sense. And I can remember speaking to another company, and they changed some of the different color options, and there was different feels within the
Mm-hmm.
different color options. Um, I guess it's maybe the old Ford's logo. You can have it in any color that you want as long as it's black.
Yep. Yep.
Um, How difficult would it be for your kinetic core technology and everything that you're doing? How difficult would it be to transfer to a different shape? Uh-oh, I got a grin. I love the
I
shape.
will,
I'm not saying, but because it's the most obvious, I think, question that we get a lot with
sure.
companies when they have a putter that they like, or a putter that it takes off. It's but when is the next shape coming out? So
Mhm.
I'm just kind of curious if it is that
Yeah.
transferable, or if it's something that's more shape
Short
specific.
answer is yes, it is transferable. The one thing that we want to be able to maintain is the general aesthetic from here forward. So when you're picking
Mm,
up our putter, you know it's a moment zero putter. Um, I will say that we are nowhere near done. We have a couple things in development that we are working on. I know we have gotten questions about, are we going to come out with a blade? And I'll tell you right now, we've been prototyping blade for a year and a half. And with where the market is going and where the golf community is trending towards the mallet from a personal as well as a data driven, we've shelved it. And we've continued pushing on other designs. I will say that in 2027 we will have a new design launch. It will be a mallet style, and it will have the standard face of Moment Zero. But I will also tell you that it will look drastically different than what the current one does right now. But it'll be recognizable but subtle, like our current design.
very cool. I mentioned in one of my comments, but the putter has like an almost industrial feel or look to it, and I say that in a positive way because you
Yeah,
see some of these that are they're yeah
they're
I don't know
goofy.
how to put it. Yeah, no, I don't even say it's goofy. It's you can see there's a lot going on, but like when I look at the putter, and I have one of the photos up here on my other screen. There's a lot going on at the back, but like you said, kind of what you just pointed out, from that leading edge section forward, it is
Yep,
incredibly simple.
yep.
Um, and yeah, it's very, very cool looking. Um,
Yeah, and there's a lot. So there's a lot to it. So first and foremost, these lines that my middle finger are pointing to that traverse towards the center of access, that's a visual key.
yeah.
As you look back towards this line here, on the bottom, as I rotate it the wrong way, we have a chamfer. So this is a part of that company that I said we partner with.
Okay.
And it's Pure Line Technology. So what that allows you to do, I think I have a ball laying around here. What that allows you to do is this isn't like your traditional press in and stick. It sits on
Okay.
top of your putter and it allows you to adjust the ball during training. So you can roll the ball
Okay.
around on the bottom during practice putting so that you don't have to bend over. And you can actually see your line top down. And so as you think through that, if you align it this way
Yeah.
versus this way, these lines line up from front to back of the putter with the line on your golf ball.
Interesting.
Um, and
Very cool.
then as you think of these lines back here, this is the
Yeah.
width of your golf ball. And so that traverses all the way back from straight to back. And so, like I said, we don't miss a detail. And as we design these, is this a putter that you've seen before? No. Is it unique in the sense that it's busy but simple? Yeah. But there's a lot of thought that goes behind every single break, every single geometry, um, every single detail with these in order to make sure that as you're addressing the ball, you have confidence. You're not standing over the ball and you're like, nope, this does not feel good, because that happens to everybody.
Yeah.
And that happens truthfully with a lot of putters. I stand over the let's see what's on my wall. I'll stand over a Scotty. I'll stand over the Odyssey, or even a lot of the labs. Between the feel and how they look, I can't hit them. And it's a psychological thing, because they just look so strange. And that's one big thing that um, Phil on My Golf Spice called out. He's like, if you're getting on the boat for zero torque, a lot of these guys have weird stuff, and it's not for everybody. And that's not one of the categories we wanted to fall under. We wanted to deliver performance, but confidence first.
That makes a ton of sense. The, I mean, it, as you said, it looks kind of unlike anything, but I feel like there's shapes in there that are familiar, or it's what you said. It's confidence inspiring. A few little things you had on your website. You have a trade-in program.
Mhm. Just
What is
added
that?
that.
Oh, you just
Yeah, so
okay.
we just added that this week. So loving golf. I selfishly did that for me and for our users.
Okay.
Not everybody has $350 lying around, but they have a putter that they don't like, they don't use, doesn't work well for them. Will we take every putter? No. But what we are doing is we're allowing our users to say, hey, I want to get one of your putters, but I don't have $350. Okay, do you have another putter lying around, where we can then leverage that to kind of help them get the moment into their bag? So they would go and they would submit what it is, what condition it's in, submit a couple photos. So the biggest photo is top down. You got your face, you got the back, and then you got the bottom, just so that we're able to inspect it to say, hey, look, is this thing beat to heck where it's not going to perform as we internally need to, with some testing we would do over additional iterations of our putter, or something that we are proud of hanging on our wall. That's where we'll draw the line to say, hey, look, would love to help you. Let's think of a different way. Your putter's not for us. But giving our consumers the opportunity to, they don't have to put up cash if they don't have cash. We want the moment in as many bags as possible, not for the profit side, but for the story, and getting something into the bag that they can stand behind.
Makes sense. The for your, I guess, where is the best place to find Moment
Yeah.
Zero golf putters? Do you have, are they in shops to try? Let us
Yeah,
know.
so that's an excellent question. So, being we're out of Erie, Pennsylvania, yes, we have a very large golf community, but it's very small in the relation of the entire nation. So locally, if you're from Erie, PA, yes, we have it in a number of clubhouses here. Um, we are in the process of expanding into the Cleveland, Ohio area,
Hmm.
where we're getting into some of the clubhouses there as well. And the balance has really been word of mouth. With my day job, I do have the luxury of taking some clients out to golf courses. And we get the opportunity to hit some of the nicer courses in the country. And so word of mouth there. But traditionally, most of our traffic comes through our website, of momentzerogolf.com, or through Instagram.
Okay.
That's where we're at right now. And then kind of predicting a future question is, what does the future of accessibility look like? We are trying to get the product out there in as many ways as possible for the first year. And then we will be expanding into wholesale as we can.
Okay, cool. You have some really nice head covers. I saw them in the back
No, thank
on your
you.
wall too. So, I mean, it's often kind of an underrated thing, but you have a few different colors, designs.
Mhm.
I saw a couple limited editions, I think, on the
Yeah, we
site as
got,
well.
yeah, so we have, can this tilt up higher possibly? Yes. So these are our
Yep.
three traditional ones. We have our Masters green, we have our Onyx black, we got our rust tan. So those are all select as you may for your particular order. And that's all based off of preference. We also have, to your point, we did a limited drop for when we launched this in September. So we have our launch
So good.
head cover.
Yeah.
And what we did in every one of our head covers that we will have, it has some variation of our logo in there. And so this is our launch head cover. They're all leather. This has the stars are printed on it, but everything else is embroidered on it. And then we actually have a cloth 4th of July coming.
Oh,
That's
cool.
red, white, and blue. So that'll be coming. I'm hoping they're going to be here in the next week or so. But we have that as well as a red, white, and blue grip that's supposed to show up this week. So
That's so
limited
cool.
edition, yeah, limited edition is fun. We don't do it. We don't do it very often, just because we are a small company, and like I said, we don't have that capital to go nuts like some of these guys do.
Yeah.
But we're trying to get our name out there. Obviously, the etching adds a customization piece for a lot of people, and we're trying to do one head cover and one grip, either color variation, or we're contemplating looking at another grip design for 2027 as well with the new product launch. So yeah, it's always fun to let the
Yeah.
brain spin.
So you said you did a lot of, this will be my last question.
Oh, you're good.
And then, but you said you do a lot of the club building yourself. What's your favorite part about it? Like, did you always build clubs? Was this something you kind of had to learn yourself a little bit, or
No,
that
so I golfing since I was two. As I mentioned, I always regripped my clubs with my dad.
okay?
And so gripping, I'm sure you've done it, Sean. I'm sure you've done it as well. It's a very satisfying feeling. It's messy, and it's honestly my least favorite because that tape is a nightmare to get off of stuff. But
Hmm.
no, I think the most satisfying thing is seeing it all come together as a finished component. So I have a chest of drawers of the black pieces. I have a chest of drawers of the silver pieces, of the grips, of the shafts, of the weights, of the screws. And you open the drawer and it's controlled chaos of components. And through epoxying the shaft to the stainless steel piece, through putting the thread lock and screws in to hold it all together, and just finishing and seeing it come together, and then grabbing one of the etched alignment marked black pieces, it's just, that is the most satisfying. And then I don't have one here, but putting it in the box, we didn't cheap out on the box either.
Mm.
We have a matte black box with foil gold Moment Zero on the top. And so it's very clean, very simple. And then on the underside, there's a glossy black Control the Chaos as you flip it open. And so that's the most satisfying, is seeing it go into a box and know it's going off to someone that's going to love it.
That's fantastic. This has been really, really cool. I'm very excited for the future of Moment Zero Golf. This has been, your story's fascinating, and it's very clear that you put a lot of time and effort and thought and sweat, blood, and tears and everything else into it, because what you've come up with is special, and it's the fact that you have all these little intricacies. It's yeah, special.
Thank you. Yeah, we're very proud of it, and I'm staring at what the next one looks at, and I'm not going to show it, regardless of how tempted I am. But
No,
we're very excited to show what we have what we're working on.
super. Obviously on for a little 2 more minutes here, but yeah, thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it. And I was also very thankful that you joined Life at the Turn too. That was great. I would love to see you jump into some discussion at some point and
Yeah,
see if
absolutely.
you get involved there. But thank you so much, and we'll chat soon.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jamie. Love to see what you guys are doing. Sean, appreciate you joining. I know, Chris, you couldn't make it. Thanks for the questions.
Super.